the INFJ and their moral compass. Talk about morality, what they got. All right, first of all, people, I need to amend something I've been telling you the last a month or so, all right? A couple of times I mentioned that the FE has no boundaries. It has no limits to how far it will outreach. Well, I was partially right, and let me amend that. The FE has no boundary when it comes to principle and morality. In other words, let me explain. Let's say you're friends with get some friends, and they're all right. You're hanging out. They're good, but you find out they're bank robbers, you know what I mean? And then one of them says, hey, you know what'll make us really cool friends? You know what'll really, be all right? If you were the getaway driver on one of our heists for us, what do you say, huh? Yeah, there's a lot in it for you. And I say, I can't do it. I don't think so. I can't do it, all right? And I kind of stop. Well, that's what I'm talking about. My morality and my principles said no to my FE. See what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. This is the amendment I want to make. Now, that segues me into another thing. There was a guy back in the 1960s, okay? He left a big impact. He had the initials MLK, and he was an INFJ, yeah. And what he did, delivered one of the greatest speeches of all time, all right, on the Capitol steps. And one of the highlights of that speech was, I have a dream where a man someday will not be judged by the color of his skin, but by the content of his character. I have a dream. And he said a lot of other things in that speech, lots of things, but that was one of the highlights of what he said that inspired many masses of people. It inspired me. I tell you, it really did. And but I'll tell you too, now, MLK was also, he knew his life was in danger. He was threatened many times. He was pushed around many times in his social justice life, and he knew he was threatened with his life, and he had a lot of trouble with it. But you know what? His morality and his principle was stronger. I mean, his FE led him. It drove him to do what he did. Now, it ultimately cost him his life. He was eventually lost his life because of it, but now it works the other way now. Now, here's another thing to say. The FE has no boundary when it is inspired by principle and morality. So it's a two-way street, people. That's what I wanted to say. So I wanted to amend that. Make sure you knew the difference between the two, okay? Hey, that kind of rhymes too, doesn't it? Don't that kind of rhyme? That's kind of neat. Well, anyway, people, I wanted to clear that up. I needed to get that off my chest and let you know that's what's going on, okay? Well, people, I'm coming up close to my 3 minutes over here, and I just wanted to make sure you heard that, okay? Well, thank you so much, and have a wonderful rest of your day.